What's up, Pacers? Come on in the house and get cozy. This is this week's session of Peace Talks. I'm Will.
I'm Caitlin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Bergen.
I'm Andre, and guest with us this week.
My name is Eli. What's poppin', Pacer fan? My name is Eli, and I am here with your Pacer playlist for Valentine's Day week. There are 10 songs on this week's playlist, a variety of musical tastes, but what I want to highlight right now is Bad Habit by Ben Platt. Have any of you seen Pitch Perfect?
Yes.
You know the guy, the magician guy, the roommate?
Yes.
That's him.
Oh.
Yes.
He's in Dear Evan Hansen.
He is.
Yeah.
I was really surprised to find out this guy could sing the way he does, but this song is very emotional, very deep. There's also a variety of other songs on the Pacer playlist. Like I said, there are 10 of them, and you can catch it on the Peace Times website right now, and I will have a new one for you next Monday, so be on the lookout for that one.
On Monday, February 18th, there will be a 2019-2020 Returning Student Housing Selection Meeting from 3 to 4 p.m. in the Dinwiddie Chapel. There will also be a WPU Connection Ministry meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. in the Pacer Hub Student Commons, and an FCA meeting from 8 to 9:15 p.m. in Flow 110. On Tuesday, February 19th at 6 p.m., there will be a Let's Talk About It, Break the Silence, Smashing Stigma on Health, Relationships, and Self-Love in the Pacer Hub Student Commons. On Wednesday, February 20th, there will be a men's lacrosse game versus Randolph College at 7 p.m. at Ting Park in Holly Springs, North Carolina. On Thursday, February 21st, there will be spoken word night with the artist Icon and student open mic from 7:30 to 9 p.m. in the Pacer Hub Student Commons.
Also, on Thursday, February 21st, William Peace Theater will present Julius Caesar at 7:30 p.m. and Leggett Theater, as well as 4 other performances on the 22nd at 7:30, the 23rd at 2 o'clock and 7:30, with the closing performance on the 24th at 2 p.m. Tickets can be purchased online or on location before the show. On Saturday, February 23rd, there will be a February service trip, Transitions Life Care, at 11 a.m. A CAD Night Out event will be taking place before the performance of Julius Caesar. Sign up at Ruffin Bulletin Board.
So this week in sports, we're going to start off with some women's basketball awards. For starters, Michaela Ray made first team all-conference in the USA South. Kadijah Daniels made second team all-conference. And Menage Mariette made USA South all-sportsmanship honors. So congrats to all those players on women's basketball. And so now, sticking with women's basketball, they won their first round of conference tournament that they hosted here on Wednesday. The game was against Meredith, and they won it late in the game, 78-74. Mariah Ballin had 29 points and 6 rebounds, and they will move on to the quarterfinal round for the USA South Conference Tournament, which they will play that game tomorrow at Berea at 2 o'clock, I believe. I could be wrong, so don't hold me to that. Moving on to men's basketball, they have their final game of the regular season at Greensboro College. That's tomorrow. Tip-off as at 4 o'clock. And now moving on to baseball, the team is 2-3 following a loss at home to Guilford College on Wednesday. Score that one was a final of 3-2. And the first full series of the season was this past weekend, where they split against Brevard 2-2. Big moment of the weekend was a walk-off home run by Alex Seaton in the 12th inning to finish the series with a win, and the final of that game was 4-2. The next game of the season is tomorrow at home against Hampden and Sydney. It's a doubleheader at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, and then on Sunday, that game will be played at Hampden and Sydney, assuming that all the rain holds off, which I'm not so sure about that. So now moving out of Peace Sports, story of the day is actually NBA. The All-Star game is this weekend, I believe. And the NBA holds like a tech summit every year around the All-Star time. Also, All-Star game is in Charlotte this year, so fun fact, it'll be close by. You can go. Tickets are really expensive, though. So at this year's Tech Summit, they unveiled a smart jersey of the future, which is basically a jersey where you can literally control like the text on the jersey and like change it to different teams, different players. Really weird. At the actual presentation, they switched from Kemba Walker, which is a Charlotte Hornets player, to Steph Curry, and then switched to Michael Jordan. It was very interesting. I'm curious to see like when they're actually going to bring that out. You know, that'll be good for bandwagon fans, I guess. They're going to be coming out of the woodworks for that.
So who's going to be the first person to get electrocuted by a jersey?
That's my question. I don't even know how the freaking thing works, but very interesting for sure. So that's going to wrap up sports for this week. Be sure to catch us next time.
This week, for the conversational portion of our podcast, we are going over our first or best life-changing moments in our lives. Does anybody want to go first?
I think for me, it was just realizing how much of life is mental. And what I mean is, like, because in the past, like, I used to overthink like literally everything a lot. And then I just kind of found out on my own and, like, through listening to other people talk about it, how, like, that's, like, not the route to a happy life, you know, just overthinking everything. It turns out the more you just kind of let go of what's going on in your head and just kind of go with the flow of reality, things tend to go a lot smoother, and you tend to enjoy life a lot more than when you're just stuck in your head all the time. That was probably a big moment for me, one of the bigger ones. Anybody else?
So back in about, I say, 9 years ago, it was Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day we got a call that my uncle died. So we went down there that weekend, and it was a really emotional weekend. And I was just noticing how life really can end just in a quick moment, just that fast. And also after that, I stopped crying, and I haven't cried since then. So, and Christmas hasn't really felt the same ever since that. So that was my life-changing moment.
My life-changing moment was when, my family, we moved out, like, way in the country. And, like, I hated it from the beginning, left all my friends in the city and stuff, moved to the country. But, like, being in such a small town where everybody knows everybody, and then I was also a preacher's daughter, so everybody, like, knew everything. There was a whole lot of, like, things that being a preacher's kid, like, I had to deal with. And also just growing up in such a small town, it made me realize, like, I don't want that, like, for my future. And it made me want to do something where it involved, like, traveling and just something that's not, like, a normal kind of job where you just, like, go to work every day, you know exactly what you're going to be doing, and then you live in the small town where everybody knows everything about you and everybody knows everybody. And so that right there, it was, like, I guess when I was 14. And so then I was, like, trying to think of how I could get out of that environment and, like, do what would make me happy. And then that's when I learned more about, like, broadcast journalism. And it's like you get to travel with that, and you get to kind of let your voice be heard, but in an unbiased way. And so then I knew that's, like, really what pushed me to come here to Peace and pursue broadcast journalism, and then get out of, like, just leave everybody behind. Like, I wanted to start over. Nobody knew me as a preacher's daughter, didn't know anybody. And so that really, like, reassured me that I'm going down the road that I'm supposed to be at.
I guess I could say my life-changing moment was during my freshman year of college here at Peace. I was having some roommate issues, and then along with that I got a wrist injury in softball. And softball, since I was little, was basically everything. Like, school was important, but I did everything softball. And getting that injury kind of just, I think, opened my eyes to I need to focus more on what I want to do, and kind of gave me a new perspective on softball isn't everything, and to kind of open up that. And I feel like since I've had that injury, since I can't play anymore due to the injury, that I've been able to experience a lot different things that I couldn't when I was playing softball, just because of how busy I stayed and how focused I was on softball compared to that. So I would say that that's something that I feel like definitely changed me, that I didn't think would have changed me the way it did.
So do y'all have any messages for people going through their own life-changing moments at this time?
I would say definitely focus all on you, like no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
Focus all on you, and if you think there's like you can't get out of a situation or you can't get out of a relationship or it's going to be the end of the world if this happens, like no it's not. Like keep going, keep pushing you for you, and just don't let anybody hold you back. And it's not too late to start over.
When it comes to really any difficult situation, I think the number one thing to do, no matter what it is or what it's about, is to stay relaxed. Because, I mean, no matter what it is, I mean, yeah, there's situations that's difficult, but I think what makes things more difficult is when you kind of stress and go into panic about it, as opposed to just kind of relaxing and taking a step back and looking at it for what it is, and just actually looking at, okay, well, this is the situation that it is, no matter how I feel about it, what's the best way to go about it. I think you'll find if you take that approach, there's not many things you can't get through. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I also think staying true to yourself and always making sure to do what you love and focus on what you love.
Yeah.
Even if that ends up changing, to make sure you are always true to yourself.
For sure. Don't listen to anybody. I mean, just listen to yourself first and foremost. I mean, it's one thing to respect other people's opinions, but it's another thing to, dwell on other people's opinions.
Also enjoy where you're at. Like, even if there's difficult situations, like, kind of, yeah, like Will was saying, like, take a step back, but also kind of just think what you do have that is good. And kind of focus on that to get you through. And embrace that, yeah.
Yeah. That's another great thing you can do when things are going, haywire. Just think of what's good right now. Because, I mean, whatever you look for, you're going to find it somewhere. So just look for something positive and something to be grateful for.
And always find somebody to talk to.
Yeah, that helps.
Whether it's friends or family or somebody outside of that, just have a good support team.
And if you can't, just do the best you can to rely on you in those situations, because I'm kind of a loner, so I don't really talk to too many people about what's going on in my life personally. So I can understand from the other perspective of somebody not having anybody to talk to about anything because of just how they are. So always rely on yourself in those situations, but don't shut out anybody who actually can help you. Always listen to them also.
Yeah, because when you talk to other people about what you're dealing with, you'll start to find that your problem is really not all that unique, as in like somebody's dealt with something similar, or if not worse. So it kind of it's like a release in a way. It's like you realize, okay, like this is gonna be fine. Like I can get through it. It's tough, but like I can get through it because somebody else probably got through worse. So that's something to keep in mind. Anybody else got anything?
And what you always see may not always be reality.
It's true.
We're shown a lot of things nowadays that seem to be true, but they're not really what they say they are. But also, if you want to see the truth, it is right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So always ask questions and be a little skeptical of everything you see and hear, because what may be true isn't always true.
Yeah, and at the same time, always keep an open mind.
Yeah.
I feel like that always is a good thing to consider.
Yeah, you'll be better off that way. Because, I mean, things change every day. Something that was true 5 minutes ago might not be true now, so. Alright, well, I guess that's going to do it for this episode of Peace Talks. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen,